Today, our focus is on Divine Feminine Celebration of Indigenous Feminists. Thank you, Von Trail, for suggesting this theme. And this is one of the Divine Feminine Indigenous Feminists in an article that Von Trail sent me, LaDonna Brave Bull Allard. This is a poem by Barb Middleton, which she sent. And I'll go ahead and read this. The Ancient One stands tall forever. How many long centuries passed since you once lived as flesh and bone, not rock and sand? Where did you come from? Where did you go? We did lose a part of ourselves with your going. Perhaps your blood makes these rocks red, spilled in conquest that some say could be no other way. Civilization, we did call it. Destruction was the reality. The illusion still persists with Anasazi or Croatians, Hohokam or Somalis, no honor or value of self or others. The belief that the primitive must somehow be civilized. Who is to say that quality of life exists with progress if one has lost their soul?
Listen to her justice call, follow sister wisdom, take down all walls, though our path is hard and long, she will lift our spirits with song. Listen to her call for peace, follow sister wisdom, never ceasing, keep on planting justice seeds. She will give us all that we need. Listen to her justice call, follow sister wisdom, take down all walls, though our path is hard and long, she will lift our spirits with song. Listen to her call for peace, follow sister wisdom, never ceasing, keep on planting justice seeds. She will give us all that we need.
Well, that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
This is a litany of lament that is from our Gathering book, Gathering, a Womanist Church, co-authored with Dr. Irie and Dr. Camilla. And so we will be reader 1, 2, 3, and 4. And since there are 4 of us, I will start with reader 1 and then 2 Von Trail, Chaplain Ella 3, Reverend Winter 4, and then we'll start over. In the U.S. alone, every 9 seconds, a woman is battered. Von Trail.
You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
We lament this violence and cry out for it to stop.
In the US alone, women experience an estimated 4.8 million partner-related physical assaults and rapes every year.
Black and indigenous women and women of color suffer 30 to 50% higher rates of violence and abuse than white women.
We lament this violence and cry out for it to stop.
Every day in the US, more than 3 women are raped by their husbands or boyfriends.
We lament this violence and cry out for it to stop.
1 in 3 women in the world experience some kind of abuse in her lifetime. Black and indigenous women and women of color suffer 30 to 50% more abuse than white women.
We lament this violence and cry out for it to stop.
We all share this pain of violence. Church and society have often silenced us, conditioning us to feel responsible for the violence inflicted upon us. We have suffered from unhealthy theological views about responding to violence.
Growing up in patriarchal churches and cultures, we have all suffered abuse and injustice.
Wisdom cries out. She raises her voice. How long will scoffers delight in the scoffing? Proverbs chapter 1, verse 22. Jesus cries out, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke chapter 23, verse 34.
We cry out with wisdom, who has been scoffed and abused. We cry out with Jesus, who suffered violence and scorn.
Wisdom shows us how to forgive, not as excusing or silencing or even rushing past our feelings. We forgive so that experiences of violence no longer control or limit us or victimize us. Emphasis mine.
We claim freedom and abundant life. We are created to be in the divine image.
And now Vontrell will sing a song that she and Alex wrote. Alex is not feeling well today, and so she said, Vontrell, you can represent both of you.
Yes, she did. I tell you, being with Jan these past 4 years, soon will be 4 years, has really expanded my horizons beyond what I ever thought, dreamed, or imagined. Her many books of reimagined gospel and spiritual songs planted a seed in my mind. Oh, okay, I can do this. This is not sacrilegious or sacrosanct. And I've been writing prolifically ever since. As I've shared with the gathering, we wrote our first song around February 2020 after watching the brutal murder of George Floyd. And we've been writing ever since about things that touch our hearts, our communities, and other women of color community as well. So about a month or so ago, I was lying in bed and Sophia gave me this song, Walk With Me. I used to sing that in elementary school. So I thought, Walk With Me. And then I was reading the poem Invictus and I thought, hey, what about combining these two together for a song? And then we wrote the song and I fired it off to Dr. Jan. And she said, oh, that's wonderful. And then later on, when I was working out at the rec center, I tried to get in some exercise 2 to 3 times a week. none other than Mahalia Jackson came up in my music videos. And as I was sharing with Jan, the inimitable, unconquerable Mahalia Jackson started several of her gospel songs with "Walk with me, Lord, walk with me." And I thought, Sophia was leading me before showing me that it was done similarly with another song. But anyway, I like to give a little bit of background for the song. So here we go. It's in the tune of "Walk with Me." From holy darkness, Sophia created me, as black as the pit from pole to pole. I thank Sophia for my inimitable soul. Oh, she never fails to walk with me in my dire circumstances. I have not winced or cried aloud under my trials and tribulations. My head is bloody, but my knee is unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms the horror of the night, the night, the night. Yet the midnight of the years has not diminished my soul's delight. It matters not how straight the gate, nor how charged with punishment the scroll. Christ Sophia is the master of my faith. Christ Sophia is the master of my soul. Hold my hand, Christ Sophia, hold my hand. Hold my hand, Christ Sophia, hold my hand, my hand, my hand, as I wander this hostile land. You're the lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Christ Sophia, she holds my hand. Christ Sophia, will hold my hand, my hand, my hand. Christ Sophia, don't let go of my hand. I'm doing all I can just to stand, just to stand, just to stand.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Von Trail. Now you're going to tell little bit about some Indigenous feminists.
Yes, I am. Let me find my feed on here. Okay. I need Alex in here for this. I'll find it just a minute. Bear with me. All righty. Okay. The 15 Indigenous feminists to know, read, and listen to. This story was originally published on April 19, 2017. I think it's in all of our best interest to take in gender violence as a core resurgent project, a core decolonization project, a core of indigenous mobilization. This begins for this author by looking at how gender is, number one, conceptualized, and number two, actualized within indigenous thought, because it is colonization that has imposed an artificial gender binary in her nation. She's an indigenous woman. All righty, I'll read a couple of these. There are 15 listed, and Dr. Jan can share the website with you all if you would like to read more about them. And I'm going to butcher these names, but I'm going to do it, give it my best shot. Leanne Batasamaseke Simpson. She's with the Michi Saging Nishnabeg tribe. Leanne Simpson is an activist, scholar, writer, and poet. She was heavily involved with the Idle No More movement that raised awareness of treaty betrayals and environmental injustices impacting First Nations people. Her book, Islands of Decolonial Love, is a mixture of poetry and short stories. It includes a powerful spoken word collaboration with musicians that brings an interactive, multi-layered perspective to her poems. Number two, LaDonna Brave Bull Allard, Standing Rock Sioux is her tribe. And that's the picture that Dr. Jan used for this particular new wineskin session. LaDonna Brave Bull Allard is an activist and tribal historian who is a leader in the fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline. I'm sure you all have all heard of that. In April 2016, she founded the Sacred Stone Camp on her indigenous land, which was the first resistance camp of the hashtag No DAPL movement, and some of the closest tribally owned land to the construction site. Since the founding of the Sacred Stone Camp, thousands of water protectors camped and organized to prevent the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. This is Audra Simpson. She's Mohawk. Audra Simpson is a scholar and professor whose research focuses on the politics of recognition, particularly the Kanawake Mohawk struggles in asserting their legal and cultural rights across settler-imposed borders. Her book, Mohawk Interruptus, Political Life Across the Borders of Settler States. Beatrice Medicine, Standing Rock Sioux. Beatrice Medicine was one of the most prominent Native American female anthropologists whose writing has focused particularly on Native women. Her book, The Hidden Half, Studies of Plains Indian Women, edited by Patricia Albers, was one of the first studies to center on the lives of Native American women specifically. In addition to working as a professor and scholar, she also served on the school board of her home reservation and taught classes at Native American Educational Services in Chicago, Illinois. So that's about 5 of these Native American feminist women. listed on Bitch Media. Some of you, I hope you aren't offended with that name, but that's where you can go read more about them. Bitch Media, 15 Indigenous feminists to know, read, and listen to. Thank you all for listening. I hope we're a little bit smarter for having heard just a tidbit about these Indigenous feminist women and interested enough to do more research of your own. Thank you.
Thank you. I know I am. That's fascinating and inspiring and informative. Thank you.
Jan, put that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, can you put that in the chat, Von Trail?
Yes, I'll put the 15. I'll do that. I'll do it now.
Okay, great. And I'm just sharing this artwork by Barb Middleton Joy in honor of Indigenous feminists, and you can interpret it however you want to, but I think the colors are beautiful, and it's a very descriptive painting representing joy. Winner, you have a reading for us?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So typically I try to craft something for from my spirit that God would give me, Christ Sophia would give me. This time I have chosen to work with Mary Waugh Rocco. I can't remember her last name. Mary Waugh. She says she knows you, Reverend Dr. Jan. And she's one of the ladies that I know that has a deep connection to the indigenous. and she provided me with a copy of a poem from an anthology of First Peoples poetry, Living Nations, Living Words. This particular poem is by Suzanne Schoen Harwa, and I'd like to read that to you. The name of the poem is called Welcoming Home Living Beings. And the reason why I chose this is because, albeit, it's first labeled Columbus Day, it was first the home of the indigenous people. And in my own way, in reading this, I am challenging, I believe, what Columbus had done. Today, we welcome home beloved living beings. No one alive today has seen them at home except in dreams. No one we ever met saw them at home except in dreams. Yesterday, they were stolen many generations ago. Yesterday, they were prisoners in private homes. Yesterday, they were locked in university basements. Yesterday, they were poisoned and smothered in museums. Yesterday, they were branded with numbers and price tags. Yesterday, they were violated by prying hands and eyes. Yesterday, they were tortured and deprived of all that nourishes. Yesterday, they were alone many generations ago. Today, we welcome home living beings. They come home to us. There are many relatives. They return after surviving a long, hard war. They never meant to be warriors. They were created with holy purpose as teachers, doctors, as visionaries and guides, as children and parents, as artists and lovers. They were created to balance our minds, to settle the spirits, to solve difficult cases, to make a peaceful way, to make themselves beautiful. They were created by creation and loving human hands, as pots and baskets and boxes, as claws and feathers and teeth, as hides and furs and antlers, as hooves and shells and baleen, as pouches and bundles and gourds, as drums and rattles and bells, as clay and cedar and paint, as grasses and reeds and pollen. Today, we welcome home beloved living beings. With their many relatives, have known them all their lives. We, their many relatives, have missed them all our lives. We feed their memory with sacred foods. We nourish their memory with sacred water. We keep them in our circles, seek them in darkest places. We seek them, we sing the songs they sing. We dance the dances they dance. We pray the prayer they pray. We dream the dreams they pray. We dream the dreams they dream. Tomorrow, after we welcome home our beloved living beings, it will be as if they never left home or us. Their many relatives. It will be as if they never left home or us. It will be as if they never left. It will be as if they never. It will be as if. It will be. It will be as if there were no yesterday. It will be tomorrow. Ashe and amen.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Put that in the chat, Reverend Winter. I'd like to get a copy of that.
Of the book?
Of your poem, or
If you put the poem, put the name of your poem and the author in there.
Okay.
Thank you, dear.
Okay, I will.
okay, Chaplain Ella is going to celebrate World Vegetarian Day with us. Today is World Vegetarian Day. And then I have a video Colette sent about this. So, Chaplain Ella.
Okay. Well, I did not know that October 1st was World Vegetarian Day until Jan brought this to my attention. But I am on a plant-based diet, and I have been on one, or I guess for about 12 years now. And it started because it's been about 12, 15, about 15, almost 15 years now. When I went in for my physical, the doctor told me, "Oh, you're diabetic." And I said, "No, I am a Christian." And I told him, I said, "Now, where did this come out from? I come to you on a regular basis for examination. You never gave me any warning signs. See this?" And so I said, and he just started, when he said you're diabetic, he just started immediately writing out a prescription for metformin. And I said, "I'm not taking that." And I said, "I want you to send my blood work over to Baylor. I'm going to talk with a dietitian." And I said, "I'm getting rid of you." And so that started my journey. I started talking with a dietitian. Now, I didn't become vegetarian, plant-based or vegetarian at that time, but I was only eating at that time organic chicken and organic turkey, which I thought was okay. And but she did help me to understand balance, my carbohydrates, balance, told me how much protein I need with each meal, how much carbohydrates to eat, and how to balance that with protein, how to read food labels. That nutritionist helped me out, and she said, "You can do this without medication." And so after I got rid of my doctor, I found another doctor who was a plant-based doctor. And so that's where my journey began. So I didn't know that October 1 was World Vegetarian Day. So, but the purpose of that World Vegetarian Day is to promote the benefits of a plant-based or vegetarian diet and the life-enhancing possibilities. And because of that, I have been able to, and I don't say I'm diabetic. I don't say that, because I believe in that. When I was working as a chaplain in the hospital, when people say they were diabetic, I said, "No, you're a Christian. You have a condition that you can manage, which is managing your blood sugar." So we're going to change the narrative, so that, because when you say I am a diabetic, it takes away your power. Mm-hmm. And so that's what, and I said, "You can do this." And so it's power. It's about power. So one of the things that I tell people, I have started telling people is, okay, and I have a wonderful doctor. What he did was had a wellness seminar. He had these wellness seminars where we met at the hotel, and people, all kinds of people could come, even if you weren't his patient. And we had a 2.5-day seminar, and he had everybody talk about plant-based diet or vegetarian diet and what that meant, and to enhance mental, spiritual, and emotional balance and well-being. And so the menu at the hotel, they prepared plant-based diet. There was no animal-based products. And so and he encouraged people to just try it for 40 days. He could try it for 40 days. And he said, even if you're not my patient, he said, do your blood work and take it to your doctor for results. Well, I did that. I took up that challenge. And prior to that, I had gone to my ophthalmologist, and my ophthalmologist, I had, for my annual, and he had said that he was going to have to do surgery to my eye. And so after taking up the challenge of 40 days of a plant-based diet or vegetarian diet with my doctor, I went back 40 days, like my doctor said, did the blood work, and my ophthalmologist asked me what had I been doing different. And I told him, because I thought, oh my goodness, are you going to have to do surgery? He said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I do not have to do surgery. So to this day, I have not had surgery, eye surgery. And that's been what, almost 15 years ago. So I know it works. And so, so what I have been encouraging family and friends to do is just one day a week. Just one day a week. Just no no meat, no animal products. You know, just try one day a week and not be intimidated by that. And what will happen, stop thinking that, oh, what you will miss. But I say your palate, your tongue, your palate will change and you will not desire. And then people ask, well, don't you miss this? And don't you miss that? And I said, no, I don't miss it. And so it's not difficult. And so I tell people, you have a purpose. And so if you have a purpose, this will help you live out your purpose. My mother died at the age of 42 years old because she had told that she was diabetic and had none of these resources available to her. And so looking at some reading that I found that only 5% of people in the United States are vegetarian, only 5%. And my doctor even told me that the American Diabetes Association now lists animal products as a contributing factor to developing diabetes. Okay? So now if the American Diabetes Association is recognizing that meat and animal products is a contributing factor, what does that tell you? So, and as a result, I lost about 20 pounds. So it also has that benefit of changing. So so now I think we need to heighten this some kind of way because October really is Vegetarian Awareness Month, the whole month. But have you seen it and heard it in the media? No, you've not heard it. So, and this is Texas, and we are a beef, state. So you're not, so everything is about money and resources. But I think it's just so important for people to know this. So now people say, well, you don't eat this, and no, I don't eat meat. I don't eat, and I don't even. I started drinking almond milk, and now I drink oat milk, and I love it. I mean, so it's not a big deal. So and then people say, well, what about holidays? Well, I still, I don't eat it. So now I prepared for my family, my son-in-law, and I tell people, even if you eat it during the holidays, okay, but then get back on the diet, and don't call it a diet, call it a lifestyle. So.
Thank you. That's very powerful. And I just love that you said you're not a diabetic, you're a Christian, and you have helped me in going through some health challenges, not to be defined by that, but to, look at my agency in the healing journey. And I think eating a plant-based diet it really has been for me. So thank you so much. Von Trail put in the chat, what does a day in your life of plant-based eating resemble?
Okay, I cook. I don't eat at restaurants. I don't do that either. So if I meet friends, I have met a couple of friends at restaurants. I eat before I go. So when I go, I say I'm here for the fellowship, and people are just, they're just hung up on eating out because one of the things that the dietitian showed me was she said, okay. And I was going out to eat at that time. And she said, well, if you went out to eat, where would you go? And I said, one place would be Olive Garden. And I said, my grandchildren were young at that time. And I said, they like Red Robin. she showed me the salt
Uh,
that was the amount of salt that was in Olive Garden, the food at Olive Garden. It was enough sodium for a person for a whole month. The amount of sodium in one meal was enough for a whole month. So when she showed me that, I go, oh my goodness. So I get up, so like I said, when my doctor had the wellness seminar, they showed us recipes and things, how to prepare things. So I get up, so just like last night, I cooked roasted broccoli. I cook a big pan of it. I eat broccoli every day. So I keep roasted broccoli. I roast it in the oven with plant-based cheese. And I use craisins, not raisins, because craisins has 50% less sugar. I use craisins, and I use the fried onion rings. I put a little bit over that. But I put it in the oven, bake it for 15 minutes. And I use garlic granules, not garlic salt. I use garlic granules. And so season it, I use Mrs. Dash, and I put that over it. I use olive oil. Olive oil does not clog your arteries. So that's that's the oil that I use. So I put that in the oven for 15 minutes, take it out, stir it around so my seasoning will be balanced. Put it back in the oven. That's when I put my cheese in. After I take it out for 15 minutes, put my cheese over it and my craisins, and take it out and put it back in the oven for another 5-6 minutes for my cheese to melt. And that's it. So that's gonna last me several days. Now, so every day I cook one item so that I always have something available. Now today I will roast cabbage, and I'll cook. I'll roast some of the cabbage, and I'll cook some of it on top of the stove. And I put a little broccoli in that sometimes. I also and I also eat plant-based chicken. It's by Gardein. Gardein. You can get it anywhere. At Walmart, you can get it at Whole Foods. But they have buffalo wings that are plant-based. They have chicken nuggets that are plant-based. They have chicken strips that are plant-based. And and then I have nuts, all kind of nuts, walnuts, and I eat a few pecans, and so your walnuts, that's going to give you some protein. So and then but yeah, so then I could make a big pot of vegetable soup, all kind of vegetables in it, green beans, lima beans, with a tomato base. So that's going to help. And now, one of the things that I do when I bake, I may use egg, but if the recipe called for 2 eggs, I use 1 egg, and I supplement sour cream, plant-based. I found a plant-based sour cream, and so that acts as an egg as well. And so that's what I make my cornbread with. And like I say, you're not gonna miss it. And it's and for my I have found a plant-based pasta. Because my grandson loved pasta, and so I know that you don't need all that carbohydrate. So since when I found that plant-based pasta, I fixed that for him, for all of us. And he doesn't, you can't taste the difference. And I make spaghetti. I use tofu. My grandchildren love the tofu. That's the protein. That's the meat substitute in the spaghetti. And they call me dear. you make us some spaghetti. They don't, so if you tell people in advance, they go, oh, I don't want that. But if you prepare it and they eat it, they're gonna say, oh, this is delicious. What do you put? Then you tell them. So, so I eat all vegetables really. Now about once a quarter, one of the things that I have done is eating tuna with salmon, make a tuna salmon salad. I have done that because I'll mix that, but that's the extent of what I eat.
Ella, thank you so much. You gave me ideas for recipes too. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, I know we're getting close on time. I think this is about 2 minutes. I think you'll enjoy Colette with her son
Hey.
talking about this.
Hi friends! Nico and I are here to help you celebrate Earth Day. Nico and I always celebrate Earth Day every day because we're vegan. And together we have saved
3,832
animals' lives by being vegan. Being vegan means we don't eat any animals or animal products.
Save water. Vegans save 60% more water per year. I can't really read them.
Okay. Being vegan protects the environment. Animal agriculture is 15% of greenhouse gas emissions.
Less chemicals the cows produce 56%, or 56 billion liters of methane per day.
Cows produce 560 billion liters of methane per day. So being vegan, there are less chemicals in the air.
Oh. Being vegan helps the ocean. 90% of the fish population is gone due to commercial fishing.
Being vegan helps feed the hungry. 760 million tons of grains are fed to animals. If grains were fed to humans, no one would be hungry. And being vegan makes you healthy. Eating plant-based foods greatly lowers the risk of obesity, cancer, diabetes, and the #1 killer, heart disease. So we hope you enjoy your Earth Day. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Our Mother, who is within us, we celebrate your many names, your risen come, your will be done, unfolding from the depths within us. Oh, each day you within us, the empowerment around us, and a celebration among us, now and forever, now and forever, now and forever, now and now and forever, now and forever, now and forever, now and forever. Blessed be